almost 93% of the wealth. 117 days until election day. And across this nation, the tough times, we've seen an implosion of our economy. Despite the evidence, there are those who want to give pity to billionaires and inflict more pain on the poor. We see politicians that pander to bigots and race baiting, those who've been forced to get on welfare. Never in history has so much money been spent to resist equality. The gross sums of money being spent to take us backwards is lewd, is pornographic, is blatant, and is arrogant. These are troubling times. Corporations are treated like people. People are treated like things. Banks get bailouts from loans with our money with no interest, and then the banks turn around and lend us our money back to us with interest. These are critical times. And if we ever needed to vote, we sure do need to vote now. I don't know if Republicans are going to show up. I don't know if Democrats are going to show up. But the sons and daughters of slaves, we better the hell show up. That's why we're here. Our parents did more with less than we have today. With less, they beat slavery. With less, they beat Jim Crow. With less, they beat lynching. With less, they beat the KKK. With less, Harriet Tubman got 500 slaves out of slavery. She didn't have email. She didn't have text, Facebook. She didn't have sale. She didn't have texting. She didn't even know what Twitter was. She didn't have a car, but she had faith in God. A 38 pistol on her side. Moss on the north side of a tree. And a North Star in the middle of the night. She did more with less. We must do more with more. So from now until November, email everybody you know. Tell them to show up. Because if we ever needed to vote, we sure do need to vote now. Text everybody, tell them to show up. MySpace everybody, tell them to show up. Take some of them friends you don't need to have off Facebook and get some real friends up there. Tell them to show up. Call everybody you know. Knock on everybody's door. I don't know how to tweet, but my children adore can tweet. So I told them to tweet, 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 tweet everybody. You know. Because God is not going to do for us what we can do for ourselves. We ever needed to vote? We sure need to vote now. And when we do, Leon, what we're supposed to do, God will show up. God will bless our efforts. He's always has. He always will. When we work our faith, miracles and movements. Faith is what you believe about God. Works is what you do because of what you believe about God. Faith without works is destitute and devoid. But faith with works is dynamic and can change your destiny. Whenever we work our faith, God shows up. When Moses stretched out his rod, God showed up. The wind came down. The Red Sea opened up. Pharaoh was brought down. When they marched around Jericho, God showed up. Walls fell down. When David threw the rock, God showed up. Goliath came down. When Daniel went in the lion's den, God showed up. The lions calmed down. When Esther went to see the king, God showed up. Evil plans were turned around. When a woman touched the hem of his garment, God showed up. Blood disease slowed down. When a boy gave the Lord fish, 5 loaves, God showed up. And a buffet came down. When Jesus went to the cross, God showed up. Satan's kingdom was torn down. Early Sunday morning, resurrection happened. And the angels had a Holy Ghost throwdown. went to Supreme Court. God showed up. And America's segregation was brought down. When Rosa Parks sat down, God showed up. Jim Crow had to step down. If we vote, the Tea Party will be voted down. Every time we put our faith and our works together, evil is shut down. God shows up. I got a question for the NAACP. Do I ever witness? Won't God show up? Won't God show up? Won't God show up? What's in your hands? What's in your hands? Use what you got. God will give you what you need. Won't he show up? Won't he show up? If I was in North Carolina, I'd say yeah. Say yeah. Say yeah. Now tell your neighbor, if we ever need it,